with lackluster previous iterations. We think it is finally time for the Fantastic Four to shine as the first Marvel movie and live up to their name, who will come with everything they have got, from family relations all the way to the supervillains that they are connected to, and a replacement in the Avengers team category might also be on the table as well. The Fantastic Four are coming to the MCU. Marvel's first family will be joining the others after the announcement from Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. The time when the acquisition from 20th Century Fox was finally completed and all the rights were taken by Marvel Studios. It was also revealed that Spider-Man director Jon Watts will be directing the movie. The Fantastic Four family has been one of the favorite group of characters of all the comic book fans. However, their live-action counterparts, as of yet, have not received the same love, which is due to the fact that they have yet to receive the spotlight they are owed when their comic book history is taken into consideration. And the MCU will probably be the perfect place for it. Thus, with the news that Marvel Studios will be the one to reinterpret the Fantastic Four, here is why you should be excited about the movie, but also what are some of the mind-blowing things awaiting us in the future when the movie comes out, and what it will bring to the table. Yes, it was Iron Man who launched the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in Marvel Comics, it was the Fantastic Four family that effectively marked the first superhero team. Hence, the status they are holding as the first family of Marvel Comics, making their first debut in the comics way back in 1961. The Fantastic Four team predates the likes of Spider-Man, the Hulk, and the X-Men, which is a huge deal in itself, and they behave far more like a family than the Avengers. They are a smaller team, and maybe that is because why they are so close when compared to the likes of the X-Men. So, as you can see, they are a whole different breed from anything we have seen so far from the MCU, which is why the dynamic of the Fantastic Four will bring a lot of new things to the MCU. And accordingly, together with their energy and powers, they will bring their own set of villains and side characters who can all change a lot of things in the MCU. Maybe even bigger storyline can be set with the villain of the MCU. Of course, we are talking about Doctor Doom. He is one of the best supervillains the MCU will ever see, even at this early stage of the project's development, and we are sure about it because there cannot be a Fantastic Four movie without Victor Von Doom spoiling things. He is yet to be featured in a live-action sequence that will showcase the true potential of his powers. Hence, do not be fooled by what he is capable of, judging by the previous two versions we have been able to witness so far. He is basically the Darth Vader of Marvel. Outside of his physical prowess, he is also a genius, a mastermind, unafraid to challenge anyone, which can be seen from his history of facing some of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. With everything said and done, Doctor Doom will be the powerhouse the MCU will need, who, together with the other villains of the MCU, will probably require an even stronger assembly from our characters to bring him and the others down, which would consequently force Marvel Studios to go up the game to another level, bring in even more aspects of the Marvel Universe, ones we have never even knew existed. The absence of the Avengers team can be felt throughout MCU Phase 4's movie and TV series releases, which is understandable, judging by what happened in Avengers Endgame, a movie that was responsible for 3 of the core 6 members leaving the team. Iron Man, dead, Steve Rogers, old, and Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, also sacrificing herself for the Soul Stone. And even though the MCU has even more characters than ever before, it is becoming very evident that an Avengers replacement needs to take place, a superhero team that will drive the entire franchise forward. Now, this is much easier said than done. However, we think that the Fantastic Four family members might be the ones to start things off, seeing how they are already a team, or join the others to form a much bigger organization and put everything in place. Since they are the only team with a confirmed MCU project, we think that the Fantastic Four are poised to be the first superhero team to replace the Avengers. Being the first team to receive a dedicated MCU project is nothing to be brushed off. It is a big deal. It gives an edge over the Marvel teams when it comes to replacing the Avengers. This motion will not only give the fans a lot more time to become fond of the new characters, but the team itself could bring with them the strong ties the team has with some of the best and strongest villains in the entire Marvel Universe, with those individuals possibly making their MCU debut, including the likes of Kang the Conqueror, who is already part of the MCU according to the first season of the Loki Disney Plus series, the previously mentioned Doctor Doom, and the Planet Eater Galactus, who we think will have a cameo of sorts in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, seeing how he is the supervillain that needs to be beaten. Following the previous lackluster iterations of the Fantastic Four family, the main thing Marvel Studios will need to do is bring forth an actual representation of the first Marvel family, together with all of their connections. And while their previous attempts showed some potential, the movies missed the point of the Fantastic Four and what their status in the Marvel Comics is. The latest attempt that came from Fox in 2015 proved to be anything except a Fantastic Four movie, as the creative liberties and the relationships between the members of the family were quite limited, with the villain of the movie, Doctor Doom, who should have been quite the character, completely off the mark. One of the biggest things the MCU, we think, will completely change with the movie is that it will try to turn the general audience's attention and attitude towards the Fantastic Four, which will also prove to be the biggest challenge to do, according to us, as it might even result in the family being the one to be the first of many that would replace the Avengers narrative, and the MCU to continue without one big team, but instead a couple of smaller teams. For instance, the Fantastic Four, which could be joined by the Thunderbolts, the Young Avengers, or even the Dark Avengers, maybe even the Illuminati, which we are going to see in the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel. So, with everything in mind, no matter what the case may be, the starting point for the movie to be the one we will all remember for a long time moving forward, it would definitely need to understand the status the Fantastic Four family holds in the Marvel Comics. A very good understanding of the team's relations. A great starting point would be the fact that they are the first Marvel family, and why that is, what makes them special, the family dynamic to be presented, as well as the special thing about them, and that is that they are a family before anything else, and how that factors between them and everything that revolves around them, which ultimately, paired with the team's love for the scientific discovery, could be the key to one hell of a movie, especially if some of the numerous villains are there for them to go up against, all of which have so rich backstories that we might even need a sequel about, or maybe even a spin-off series on Disney+. The future might be even brighter than we are capable of seeing with our own eyes for the Fantastic Four.
Say that again?
It's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four family? What are the reasons that they have been out of the spotlight despite 2 iterations under their belt? And what are the things you are excited the most about? But also, feel free to share your expectations about Marvel's take for the movie. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.